Have you ever really noticed the work crews cutting into a road? Maybe for like new pipes or getting ready for fresh asphalt.
Yeah, you see it all the time, but maybe don't think much about it.
Exactly. It's foundational work, literally shaping our cities, our towns, connecting everything. But the machines, the tech behind it,
Oh,
often completely overlooked.
absolutely.
So welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're taking a bit of a shortcut into one of those really significant but maybe unseen sectors, the global market for concrete road cutting machines.
Right.
Our mission here is basically to pull out the key insights from this big report, the Global Concrete Road Cutting Machine Market Report 2025-2033. We're going to unpack the sales figures, look at key years, check out country-level trends, and get into those KGR stats, the compound annual growth rate figures. It paints a real picture of this essential global industry.
And what's really fascinating, I think, is how these, specialized markets can almost act as a sort of barometer.
A barometer. How so?
Well, for global development, economic health, that kind of thing. When you peel back the layers, this report shows the global market was already worth just under, $1.2 billion back in 2021.
Wow.
So yeah, it's not some tiny niche corner. It's substantial. It's active.
And clearly not slowing down.
Yeah.
The report projects that by 2025, it's expected to hit over $1.6 billion.
Right.
And then, get this, by 2033, it's set to nearly double again, jumping to an impressive $2.93 billion.
That's a huge leap.
It really is. And that translates to a pretty robust global compound annual growth rate of 7.74%.
Yeah.
When you see that kind of steady, strong growth, especially in a field that seems so specific, it speaks volumes about the scale of infrastructure work happening everywhere.
Absolutely it does. That kind of steady compounding growth, it points directly to ongoing fundamental investment.
Right.
Maintaining, upgrading, expanding our infrastructure. Think about it, roads, airports, bridges, everything. They all need precise cutting. For construction, yeah, but also repairs, installing new tech like fiber optics.
Good point.
So understanding these markets is actually crucial. They're kind of the unsung heroes, aren't they? The foundational bits that broader economic development and urban planning really rely on.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So let's maybe unpack this by region then, because that's probably where the story gets even more nuanced.
Definitely. You see different patterns.
See where those foundational investments are really happening. Let's start with North America.
Sounds good.
So the region overall seeing solid growth, projected to more than double, actually, from about $275 million in 2021 to nearly $660 million by 2033. And the CAGR there is just over 7.6%. Pretty steady.
Yeah, solid is the word. And within North America, no surprise, the U.S. is the biggest chunk of the market in terms of sheer size.
Right.
But one little interesting detail in the report is Mexico.
Okay.
It starts from a smaller base, obviously, but its projected CAGR, 7.765%.
Oh.
It's actually the highest in the region, just, subtly outpacing the U.S. and Canada.
Huh. So what might that suggest?
Well, it could hint at maybe a significant push in new projects down there, or perhaps just really robust maintenance cycles kicking in. Something's driving that slightly faster growth.
Interesting. Okay, let's jump across the Atlantic. Europe. This looks like an even more, dynamic picture.
It really does. The overall regional growth is projected to be quite strong. The CAGR is 8.128%.
Right, which you noted is one of the highest we'll see.
Yeah, it's up there. It's set to jump from around $275 million, similar starting point to North America, actually.
Oh, yeah.
But it goes to over $713 million by 2033.
So a bigger jump overall.
Exactly. And what's really compelling, I think, are the individual countries within Europe.
Okay.
You've got Germany, France, Italy, all showing really notably high CDRs. They're hovering around 8.4%, 8.5%.
That's significant growth.
It is. That kind of consistent high growth. It often suggests, continuous large-scale infrastructure investment. Could be national development plans, could be just renewing older networks, aging but still critical stuff.
And you mentioned outliers. Are there any standouts in Europe?
Well, yeah, Luxembourg is fascinating.
Luxembourg. Really?
Yeah, despite its smaller size, the report projects it to have the highest TGR in all of Europe. It hits an impressive 8.716%.
Wow. Okay, that is interesting. You have to wonder what's driving that, right?
Exactly. What specific, maybe high-value projects or unique national priorities are pushing that kind of accelerated demand in a country like Luxembourg?
It suggests a very focused investment strategy there, maybe.
Could be. It's just fascinating how a smaller country can show such intense localized demand.
Right.
But beyond those, high flyers, you've still got the UK, Russia, Spain, Switzerland. They're all showing strong, steady growth too. Generally, KGRs in the high sevens, nearly 8%.
So Europe's a very active region overall for this.
Very active, yeah.
Okay, let's shift focus again. Asia Pacific.
Yeah.
This region looks like a massive player just in terms of market size.
Oh, absolutely. Huge market. It's projected to grow from just over $235 million in 2021 to nearly $600 million by 2033. And it has a healthy CAGR too, 7.928%.
So strong growth there as well. And within the region.
Well, predictably, perhaps, China and Japan lead the pack in terms of sheer volume.
Makes sense?
Both showing strong, consistent growth. Their CAGRs are in the mid to high 7% range.
Okay.
India also contributes significantly, which, reflects its rapid urbanization, massive infrastructure expansion happening there.
Yeah, you see that reported a lot.
Right. And the report just consistently shows this solid, widespread growth across, a really diverse range of economies here. You've got South Korea, Australia, Singapore, Taiwan.
So it's not just one or two countries driving it.
Not at all. It really underscores those foundational investments happening right across this really vibrant continent.
Okay. Next up, South America. What's the story there?
South America. Okay, so the region had overall revenue around $63 million back in 2021.
Right.
And it's growing to nearly $148 million by 2033. But its overall regional CGR at 7.449%.
Oh, I sense a but.
Well, it's the lowest among all the regions we're looking at today.
Okay. Still growth, but comparatively slower.
Exactly. Still positive growth, but just not quite at the pace of, say, Europe or Asia Pacific.
And within the region, Brazil's the biggest market, I assume?
Yes, Brazil remains the largest market there. But its growth rate is actually slightly below the regional average. Now, if you connect this to the bigger picture, Chile's data is particularly interesting.
How so?
Its CAGR is projected at 6.782%.
Okay.
Which is the lowest among all the specific countries we've highlighted from the report across all regions.
Like the lowest individual country CAGR we've discussed.
Precisely. So it does raise questions, doesn't it, about maybe underlying economic factors there, or perhaps just a temporary pause in major infrastructure projects within Chile compared to
others nearby, like Argentina or Peru.
Exactly. Argentina and Peru actually show stronger individual KGRs in the report. So yeah, it highlights those subtle but significant regional differences.
Absolutely. Okay, moving on to the Middle East. How does that region look?
The Middle East, surprisingly strong, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, overall regional growth projected from just over $51 million in 2021 to nearly $128 million by 2033. That comes with a robust KGR of 7.896%.
Pretty close to Asia Pacific's rate then.
Very close. And Saudi Arabia is the largest market there, showing strong growth as you might expect.
Right.
But what really jumps out, and this is, I think, a key insight from the report, is the category labeled Rest of Middle East.
Okay, the catch-all category.
Right. That segment shows an exceptionally high KGR, 8.423%.
Wow. Higher than Germany or France even.
Exactly. So this often points to, significant, maybe emerging construction activity and infra development in countries that weren't broken out individually in the report's detailed tables.
So dynamic expansion beyond maybe the traditionally dominant players in the region.
That's likely what it signals, yeah. Very dynamic growth there.
Okay, fascinating. And finally, Africa. What's the picture there?
Africa. So this region generated a pretty substantial $300 million back in 2021.
$300 million. Okay, significant starting point.
Yeah, quite large. And it's projected to reach nearly $700 million by 2033. The CAGR is 7.353%.
So similar to South America in terms of the overall growth rate, but a much larger market size to begin with.
Precisely. Africa's market size is quite noteworthy, especially given that relatively lower overall CAGR compared to, say, Europe.
And within Africa.
And Nigeria stands out. By a significant margin, actually. It's the leading contributor.
Yep. Its
growth rate, 7.614%, it's strong. But maybe it hints at development patterns that are a bit different from more mature markets.
Different how?
Well, it may suggest massive foundational investments in new infrastructure, rather than just the maintenance or upgrades you might see dominating in, say, parts of Europe.
Building from the ground up, potentially.
Potentially, yeah. South Africa is also a major player, though its AGR is a bit lower, around 7%. And then the rest of Africa category also represents a large chunk.
Okay. So if we try and synthesize all of this, bring it all together, what's the big picture takeaway?
No, I mean,
As we've seen digging through this, the global concrete road cutting machine market, it's just seeing really steady, significant growth almost everywhere, isn't it?
it really is. Steady and significant are the right words.
I mean, it's a field that's set to basically double its value in just over a decade.
Yeah.
Quietly, maybe, but powerfully underpinning the global economy. Just building and maintaining the essential networks we all depend on.
Precisely. And this robust growth, it isn't just about building more roads, is it?
No.
It's also powered by that ongoing infrastructure development worldwide, yes, but crucially, also by the continuous evolution of the technology.
The machines themselves are getting better.
Exactly. Innovations like, increased precision, maybe more automation, better efficiency.
That makes them indispensable for modern construction, whether it's laying a new highway or, like we mentioned, installing complex underground utilities for our growing smart cities.
That makes perfect sense. Technology driving demand, too.
Definitely part of the equation.
So, as you, our listener, go about your day, maybe you're driving on a newly paved road, maybe you pass a construction site, maybe pause and consider this. What does this consistent, robust growth in a specialized, maybe often overlooked field like concrete road cutting really tell us about the foundational investments shaping our world? And maybe, how might we look differently at those often unseen gears of global progress?
That's a great thought to end on. What's happening beneath the surface, literally and figuratively.